Minglawa, welcome to MITV special program Perspectives. For this show, we have invited special guest of speaker Wu Echan, who is Councillor of Myanmar Press Council and so also Chairman of E-Commerce Association of Myanmar and Deputy Chairman of Myanmar Digital Economy Association of UMFCCI. Wu Echan has worked in UK and Singapore in professional capacity as banking and finance for more than 15 years. Minglawa Sia, thank you very much for your time. And for this time, we are going to discuss about generating cash flow from homestead livestock farming. I think it is the follow-up story of our recent topics on surviving in an inflationary environment. So please tell us, what is homestead livestock farming?
Homestead essentially is referring to the home plus farm or the farmhouse where the farmer or the family try to generate income in this land that it has by growing plants and keeping the animals for its own needs as well as to generate additional cash flows.
So as we have discussed about backyard farming, yeah? So how do we generate cash flows from livestock farming?
Okay, cash flow, when you have a land within the next adjacent to your house that you own, right, there are two things that generate cash flow. One is the plants and the other one is the animals, right? Plant, in my opinion, is a little bit difficult to generate substantial cash flows. Because plants, why? Because plants are very perishable. Perishable, if you grow booty or booty mean gourd or other vegetables, right, before you get to the market, they may have perished or they have expiry, right? Mm-hmm. They will not be suitable for selling anymore. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and plus the plants they generate very little income. Mm-hmm. So in my opinion, is preferably is animals are better for creating additional income for the homestead. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how do we get income from the animals? Well, there are actually three ways of getting income from the animal. Mm-hmm. The first one is the animal produce. For example, chickens, they produce what? Eggs, right? Goats and cows, they produce what? Milk. Yeah. So that is the produce of the animal. And the other one is the growth. Growth means, for example, if you keep the cow as a baby cow, right? The baby cow may only cost like 2 or 3 lakhs, but when it becomes an adult cow, you may have like 10 lakhs. Mm-hmm. So that is, you also generate income from the growth of the animals. Same as pigs, right? Baby pigs is only about 1 lakh, but when it's adult pig, the selling price is about 5 lakhs, depending on the weight of the pig. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's quite good. That's the second one. The last one is a meat. Meat is obviously you sell the animals for meat. So there's the 3 things that you generate income out of the animals. The first one is the growth, by the animals growing up. That's where you generate income. And the other one is the produce of the animal. And the other one is when the animal passes away or when you sell the animal for meat.
Mm-hmm. So these are the difference between the vegetables and also the cattle, livestock. So what animals would be the best?
Okay, well, obviously, the animals that are close to our heart are chicken, ducks, geese, pigs, cows, and goats. These are the ones that we always have in mind, right? Obviously, fish, you need a big pond, so I'm keeping the fish out. For fish also, you have a little bit of inventory control issue. Yeah, for the fishes, you cannot actually count the fishes. Yeah, so the rest of the animals you can count. You can count how many animals you have, right? So which animal it would be best for you, it depends on your circumstances. The first thing that you have to consider is the initial outlay. Initial outlay means how much would it cost to buy the animals, right? The chickens will only cost like maybe like 7,000-8,000 or maybe 10,000 per chicken, right? But if you buy a cow, it will be like 3-4 lakhs, right? If you buy a pig, it's 1 lakh. Goat is also around the same price as the pig. Yeah, so that the initial outlay is you got to consider. Yeah, chicken, geese, ducks, they are pretty cheap per animal. But goat, pigs, cows, they are expensive animals. Yeah, so that's the first thing. Because if you buy expensive animals and they die, then you suffer a loss. The second one is a feed. that you got to consider. Feed means the cost of the food to the animals.
Yeah.
For example, cows, you don't really have to feed the cows, except in the dry season, right? Because the cows, they just go around and eat the grass. Yeah, plus, but however, pigs, you got to feed them specifically.
Yeah.
Same with the goats. Goats also, you got to supplement their grass eating. Yeah, eating the plants. So yeah, chicken, maybe you don't really have the feed cost, right? So you have to consider the feed cost of the animals. Cows, close to zero feed cost. Pigs, the feed costs are very high. That type of thing. And the other one is a produce. So do you want a produce or you don't want a produce for your house? Right? For example, chicken and ducks, they will tend to produce eggs. So you will have the produce that you can also eat at home. That's the one. The fourth one that you have to consider is a multiplier. Multiplier means how many kids, how many babies that they're going to produce. Right? For example, chickens, how much they produce. Cows, they only produce one time, one cow only. Plus, it takes 9 months to have a baby cow. Right? Pigs, they produce like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 baby pigs. Goats, probably one time only 1 or 2 goats. Yeah. So, and also how long is their pregnancy? Right? Cows takes like 9 months. Pigs probably 3 months. Goats also about around that. So that's a thing that you have to consider. If you want the animal faster, as animal babies faster, you got to choose a type of the livestock that has a closer gestation period. And the last one is the residual value. Residual value or resale value. Resale value means when you want to sell it, when the animal die or whatever, how much you can get back. Right? Obviously, cows, they take longer, so they are most expensive. But in residual value, pigs are also good as well because everybody is eating pork. Yeah. So these are the 5 items that you have to consider. Right? The first one is the initial outlay. The second one is a feed cost. The third one is produce that the animals produce. The fourth one is a multiplier, which means how many babies they have. And plus the last one is a resale value. These are 5 things.
So, as you have mentioned, when they die, we can also suffer loss. So, what are the dangers that we should watch out?
Okay, when you keep the animals, the first thing is, animals are living things. So just like humans, they suffer from diseases. Pigs have their own disease, goats have their own diseases, chickens have their own bird flus and all these.
Yes.
Right? So there's one thing that you got to watch out for. You got to have some of the big animals, you have to give vaccination. Right? Once they fall sick, you got to bring the animal doctor to cure them. Yeah, so that type of thing. And plus the other thing that the other danger you got about is a seasonal. What type of season are you operating in your environment? For example, goats, they don't like the rainy season. They like the dry season. So that's why if you go to the middle of Myanmar, what animals they keep most? Well, they only keep goats. Yeah, why? Because goats like the dry weather. Yeah. Right? So if you want to keep the goats down south, it's a little bit difficult. But it's not impossible. You can still keep it, but you got to watch out for that. Yeah, so that's the season. Right? For example, cows, during the dry season, they don't have grass, so you got to feed them, yeah, with the dry or kauyu or whatever thing. Yeah, plus the other thing that you have to worry about the breeding, right? You keep the animals to multiply, right? You want the pigs to breed, you want the cows to breed, you want the goats to breed. So breeding is your responsibility. Right? So you may not be able to keep all the male and females in a proportion order. Yeah, but for example, cows and pigs, you hire a male, the mating male from outside to breed them, to impregnate the animals. The second last one is staffing, right? Because animals, they need care, they need cleanup, they need to clean up their waste, right? You need to make sure that the whole neighborhood is not smelly. Yeah, so because of that, you need staff, or you got to do it yourself. Right? If you have big family, you can take turns to do it. But if not, you got to probably have a part-time staff, a full-time staff to do it. And the last but not least is the housing. Right? You can expect to keep the animals living with you together. Right? So probably chickens, you can live together with them. Right? But pigs and goats and all these, you got to keep them in separate sheds. Yeah. So that sheds building itself is a tricky one. For example, pigs, you can leave it on the ground, on the concrete. But goats, they won't live like that. They don't like the ground, so they will live up there. They're like 5 feet high. The shed has to be like at least 5 feet apart, 5 feet high from the ground. Yeah, so that type of things that you have to consider. So the dangers that you're asking, There are 5 things that you have to consider. The first one is diseases. Next one is the season. The third one is the breeding. And the fourth one is staff, manpower. And the last one is the housing. Housing means the shelter for the animals.
So these are the factors we have to watch out. And also, what other benefits besides additional income?
Well, when you keep the animals, if you are an animal lover like myself, right, you get happiness. Yeah, you get happiness seeing the baby pigs around, chickens running around. Yeah, so it's quite good. Sometimes even the chicken itself, you have different types of chickens, so their behaviors are different. Yeah. So if you are the animal lover, you have what we call in Myanmar PT. You have happiness out of that, and plus you can have an activity for the whole family. Right, your children, you can go gather and play with the animals, right? Even, chickens or ducks or whatever, feed them. So it also gives the child and the youth a sense of responsibility. And this is something that you own. You got to feed them. You got to take care of them. This is your responsibility. So there's something that you have to learn while you're growing up.
So you also have your own backyard farming.
Oh, yeah. I have quite a number of small farms in different places around the region. Yeah.
Yes, as you have mentioned, even the chickens, various chicks, if they get close with the people, they also have a communication. Yeah, they can call you, and you can call them.
Correct. Sometimes animals sometimes they know more than you thought they know.
Yes. Okay, so how do we start this homestead livestock farming?
Yeah, it's really good. It's like it's good to have a homestead farm for yourself because it's self-sustaining, it's subsistence. And plus additional income. Who would not want additional income for the family, right? So the first thing that you have to consider is a home size, right? If you're living in a flat, obviously you can possibly keep pigs and goats and all these things, right? Yeah, even chickens will be difficult to keep in a flat. Yeah, so that you need to have a land. But obviously in Myanmar, outside of Yangon central area, most of the people have landed areas, landed compounds. So it's quite workable. Yeah, plus you have to consider your region. Which region? Region is determined by region determines the seasons. Yeah. Right? So, if you are amateurish, probably you should not keep the goats in an area where there are loads of rain. Yeah, because the goats don't like the rain. Yeah, plus the initial outlay, how much you can invest in, right? If you decide to keep goats, right, the ratio is probably 1 male to 5 females, right? Plus you got to build a shed, right? This 6 goats will probably cost you 6 lakhs plus building the shed. Yeah, so all these things, it will cost you like at least 20 lakhs to start for the goats. Right? Chickens will be a lot cheaper, and plus how much manpower your family has. Right, the more you have, the more things you can do, and the more cash flow you can generate for the family.
And also, the more you have to take responsibility for them, yeah,
of course,
because they become part of your family.
Yeah.
Okay, so thanks for sharing your in-depth discussion about generating cash flow from homestead livestock farming. You have been watching MITV Perspective Special Program. Thanks for joining us.